Everybody always wants to know how I cut this tile. I'm going to show you that. Anyway, here's my tool. Here's my tile. And look at that. I make it go straight. It cuts just like butter. So I want to cut these size pieces. I just measure with a tool. Another big mosaic on my dining room table. I've drawn it in, started cutting and laying the tile down. Haven't glued them down. Cut them up. Look at that. Okay, more progress. Yeah, especially that spot, right? That takes a lot of time, though. As I say it every single time, I'm loving the way this is looking and the way it's turning out. You know, if we didn't love our artwork, we wouldn't do it. But yeah, there's a lot of random pieces, and I'm just trying out the colors. I have a limited amount of tile of some of these colors, so I'm trying to spread it. Mosaics, broken pieces, looks like a bit of chaos. Yeah, you can tell it's all hand cut. And that's my style. I kind of like that. So we start with these bigger pieces of tile and cut them up into little squares. And you can see this net. That's the basis of what I glued on. And underneath is paper, which is the design. So I will take that paper off. And I still have a little ways to go. And look at this. I found a mirror on the street. It can be kind of like a minefield, right? Yeah, I've got my tools on it and such as that. Yeah, and this one. Aerial view of the workstation. Okay, friends, we got Ollie, who's my assistant, helping me, and we're going to cut this so I can do this in pieces because it'll have to be transported in pieces anyway. When you look at the big picture, it's really great because I'm using up all the tile in the little tiny bits. You see that? That for some reason I saved thinking, oh, one day I'll make something out of it, so one day is now. We're going to cut this right under the bar of the cross here. Some room on this table so I can do the rest of it. So we are starting to cut this mosaic because it's been completed to a certain point, and it's very big. It's going to be a lot easier to manage if we cut it, and we've already completed most of the top part of it. So here we go. And every one of my friends probably sick of me, like, hey, you want to do something fun? Let's make mosaics. Like, okay, let's see. She's doing it. She did this. Yes, that's really looking good. Yep, we got gloves on. Here's the workshop, and my friend is visiting, and I don't know where to say you're visiting from. There's long breaks in between this project, that's for sure. So I'm just putting down some glue here. And there's my pieces. Just putting them in. Laid in, a lot of them are laid in, but they're not glued down. So yeah, sometimes I don't feel like gluing. It's kind of messy, but they're ready to go. Okay, this part, which is the bottom, is all finished. So we're going to put it together here. Look at this, guys. Yeah, you might have seen this before, but we're on the final parts of this mosaic, and my assistant, Ollie, is very faithful to help me with it. This is how it's done. Now, this is a very random section. Yeah, kind of an abstract pattern, which goes from gradually dark to light. We're all serious about this today. Now, I know there's fabulous mosaic makers out there, and probably I'm not one of them, but for me, this is pretty fabulous. And I'm standing on top of the table because I have to see a bird's eye view of this, and I think it looks pretty good. I'm up on the table because I need to have a bird's eye view of this mosaic, and it appears that I'm done. This goes together. We're going to number these pieces. Everybody who's done mosaics understands this part of it. You have to get it to the place where you're going to put it. And how do you do that, right? Saw what we did, and Ollie is helping me cut this into pieces, so we're cutting the middle of it out. We're going to put it in a suitcase. Thank you, Ollie. Well, we got a lot of it, or most of it, in one suitcase. And since we made some of this today, it started to fall apart and pieces started to come out, so we thought that we would let it dry.